It's to get your wires.
Really? They worked before.
My wires are fine. I was making sure the recording button was going.
Just making sure.
Mm-hmm.
Chris has got the shiny claw koozie. Very nice.
It was a 4-pack.
It is awesome. Welcome to Everyone Racers, a show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture. It doesn't matter what kind of Lemma Champ or Lucky Track Dog League you run, SCCA or NASA. We won't discriminate as long as you drive it hard and built it yourself. Join us each week for tech discussion, tips, tricks, news and notes in the world of amateur endurance racing, and whether it's on the spot, hella sweet, or we're lucky enough and Chrissy gives us just the tip, we're sure you'll giggle a little and learn even less. Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm mental.
And we are Everyone Racers. Thank you for coming back and listening to this. What is that? Who wrote
Liltus? Capital I, then L.
The heck is that? Can't we just say Volkswagen Type 183 episode of this podcast?
No, it's more fun to make you pronounce something that you don't know how to pronounce.
Don't forget to get your E1R bingo cards if you're not currently driving a Volkswagen Type 183. Does anybody want to explain what a 183 is? Because I'm not sure I know. That's the notchback, isn't it?
It's an Iltis. Duh.
It is the because I looked it up because I'm the one who put it on there. It is the like war like SUV type thing. Like it's a big SUV.
Oh,
not
it's
something
not that big. It's like an off-road. It's like a thing, but it's off-road, and it's
kind
up.
of. It's
taller. Got it.
It was the
boxier.
It was the successor to the thing.
Oh, okay. Well, since it's kind of more van-like, is that what it looks like?
No, it's like
it's like a Range Rover
Cabrio.
Oh, got it. A Butch Cabrio. Write that down. Chris, what are you working on other than that sparkly
I think
ass
you
claw?
Need to go first, Jeff, because
you want me
to so much more about the cage. Or we get Metzel to go first because he's the only one not here, and the rest of us, our stories kind of tie together.
All right, Metzel, you go. Tell us what you're working on.
All right, so my roof is now completely sheathed with insulated OSB, and my Texas Rally car is now shoed with proper white walls. That'll all make sense when we reveal what it is. And we picked out our new pool tile. Vicky started doing the demo on the pool tile, and she did a lot of research for how we're going to do the tile. And she discovered that just like sheetrock, the best way to get pool tile to come out perfect is to use a checkbook. So we went and picked it out, and she has interviewed people, and they will be coming next week. And finally, I'm back in NOLA. You guys know this, but the straightaway here is 3,000 feet.
I heard
no
that
idea.
somewhere.
Hey, Mental, I have a question for you. What brand of fine tires did you go with that have white walls on them for said rally car?
Actually found Florida Man Donnie found a set of Hankooks on eBay that were perfectly the exact right size, because the size on the right side were 10 centimeters higher than the car. So the whole car, like
that's set up for oval racing.
Yeah, they were the same diameter, but it was 80s versus 70s. And so now the car all sits level.
That's good.
That's awesome.
Excellent. I was really hoping for like a Seilung, or hey, remember when we were at SEMA and we go into the far end of one of the pavilions and you hear all the tire brands you've never ever heard of before?
Southeast Asian and Asian tires. Yeah. Yes.
I was really hoping for one of those. But Hankook
one of the tires I pulled off, this was the brand name, Metric Radial.
Yep. That's about right.
Nice.
Tire.
Oh boy. I guess we'll jump back in because we had a work weekend. Actually, I should say work weekend. A work day, right? It was only one day.
Well,
y'all worked a lot. Yeah, I was gonna say y'all worked a lot more than they did, but I could only get one day of freedom. I should say freedom of hall pass to work on the car. So we went to the Chris and Chrissy Mayhem Factory and continued to cage the Mazda 3. That's Chrissy's Mazda 3, not my Mazda 3. And I said, we really need to have a name for each of them. Like
good 3 and janky 3. because
the
then everyone
Soupy
will call it
3 and the Super. I don't know.
No,
We just called it the big block. We called it the big block monster.
There we go. The big block and the mighty 1 point whatever I have 3. So yeah, so in the big block 3.
Car.
Yeah, I like the supercar. So anyway, so we as if you remember, for those of you who listened last week, you remember that we did the main hoop previous weekend, and my brother and I made it microscopically too large for the car.
it is also a bit of a trapezoid. Like
It
it's
is
not
not.
instead of like being even like this, it's that.
It's a little.
Yeah,
it's a
one
little
the
off.
driver's side's a little higher. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
for those of you who've never built a cage, if your main hoop is really, really, really too tight, it makes everything really, really hard to get there, because then you have to make everything else absolutely perfect. So since our main hoop was a smidge too big, we really struggled for the rest of the stuff, but we did get all the front tubed, sized and put in, and we bent the hell out of the roof of the 3 to make it all fit. Did we bang it back down, Chris? I don't even know.
Yes. Yes. I
Okay,
did.
we did bang it
And
back
then
down.
it got pushed up again a little bit, but that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, there was no way to get the main hoop in without using the porta power and like denting the roof out. So we
That's
dented the
extra
roof.
helmet clearance as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
What was the prayer circle that was on Facebook that you guys
We were trying to
the Afghan dancer cage?
It's not at
Just-
all what I thought that people were going to come up with.
So the legs of the main hoop were a little not pointed, like they were just a couple of degrees off like this. So we
Not
got
on
it
the
all
same
up on
plane.
blocks, not on the same plane. Yes. Sorry, visual. I'm doing
Trying,
the
yeah,
visual
your
for the
hands
YouTube
don't
listeners, but nobody can hear that in podcast land. So yeah, so we had to like put it up on blocks and get a lot of weight on the other leg to try and like get it all even.
So we all stood, like Jim and I stood in one corner, and because you're standing on a piece of roll cage, you're gonna fall off. So you kind of hug. Jeff and
It was
Matt,
like a huddle. It was like,
Yeah.
okay, everyone, the play
Yep.
is.
Yep. And Matt Farrencheck stopped by, so he was there too. He stood on, he had mass, so he helped by standing on the edge of the cage, and we all kind of jump up.
I
and
just
down,
help
and
people up.
We got a
so-
couple of degrees out of it, so that was
Yeah,
good.
yeah. It's according to Chris, and I'm sure he'll chime in a minute. It ended up going together really well, but
I wouldn't say really.
I definitely left it in pieces, going, oh man, he's gonna have so much trouble getting all that to fit. But anyway, came home Sunday. I knocked out a few of the jobs on the 300Z, including the overflow bottle, the air filter, and I did some work on the headlight covers. Chrissy, you did a wonderful job on the headlight covers. I am not bagging on what you did because I know you got very frustrated doing them. But man, they were like daggers sharp.
You shouldn't have undone them.
I had to undo them because that's where the overflow bottle is going. So I took the headlight covers off and I took them and I ground them all down. So now that it's all smooth and doesn't cut you every time
Did you put
touch the
them
front of the car.
back?
I did. I actually painted them. So the theming on the Z has begun. So the 4.8 liter 300ZX is getting a little closer.
Good.
And that's about it.
Chrissy, you want to keep going, and I'll fill in the.
I
everything else?
can, yeah. So we're continuing to do a lot of work over here. I helped with the cage where needed. I applied a new sunroof cover with lots of rivets. That was always fun. We were using the pneumatic riveter until it stopped riveting, and then we had to go to the hand one, which is no fun. Made a rear tow hook, and then we removed some sound deadening, which we are with the magic of dry ice, which we will talk about a whole lot later. So that's basically what I did, helping other people. But Chris, why don't you talk about what you do?
I haven't really been doing much at all. I've been sitting around on my butt, and
Can you even see right now, like how much welding
Kinda.
flash was in your eyes? In the
I
last
haven't
couple
been
days?
flashed, but I have spent a good in the last 2 days. I've probably it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. What day is today? Thursday.
Today's Thursday.
I've probably spent a good 12 hours welding in this week. So it's been great. Yeah. Base plate, like every night for 4 hours, I'm out there working on something. Base plates are all in. A lot of the little bits of fitment for the cage of Jeff alluded to were necessary. Like massaging certain areas of the car to get
You
it
need to
fit
bash
and-
the hell out of the car. You admit it.
Well, no, it's then some of it was like once the cage is in there, get the pry bar and pry it in a certain way to get it to move the other way, and put like the jack under the floor to bend that to make it where we want that to go. Anyway, in the end, it's all in. It's not perfect, but it's pretty damn good. It's all welded together. It's all welded to the car really well, actually. We even like I welded in gussets all over the place, and it's like the main hoop is tied into the rockers all the way up the sills really nicely. Everything except the upper door bars from the dash bar. That's all that's left. So
Exciting.
yeah, Eric was here also. He did the oil cooler and balance shaft delete, which was great to get all that done.
The balance shaft on the 2.5. What is that motor?
It's a 2.5
It's a
liter
BP
MZR.
MZR.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The balance shaft assembly on the MZR was freaking ginormous.
Yeah, it's
Like,
almost
it-
20 pounds.
Yeah, it had. I was gonna say it's 20 pounds at least.
Yep.
So awesome. Is that all you got? I know you've done a million bits and boops.
And
Is
well,
that-
I mean, all those hours of welding add up.
True.
It's just
True.
a bit.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we've had a faithfully quiet guest with us tonight. That usually by now I'm saying, do you hear the laughter? That is the third voice or the chiming in, but
We are not funny though.
we're not funny tonight, I guess.
We're actually still working issues at the track. That's
Oh, sitting right next to Mental, the treat of all treats, Kim Harmon. How are you?
Hi.
Yay!
Sorry, I haven't been
Woo.
saying much. 'Cause I've been stuffing my pie hole of peanuts because I'm starving.
Yeah, you both of you are fresh from the track at the Lemons opener, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So you've been working on that kind of stuff. This is the what you working on part of the podcast. So anything fun to tell us?
You took away my line. My line was going to be, I've been working on getting this shit going again.
Yeah.
Reawakening the beast.
Yeah.
Just for the record.
I don't know if you could talk about that.
Sorry, what? Yep.
Oh, I was gonna say, just for the record, would you like to attempt to pronounce the word scrotum?
Wow.
No, we'll take that as a no.
See, I mean, it's a permanent word now.
It is. It's
That
added
is,
to the
that's
record.
the way that
You
it
trying to
should
get me
be.
to say it for the bingo card?
No, actually, it's not on the
No,
bingo
but
card.
that'd
We
be
should have put it on the
amazing.
bingo card.
Mm.
I never pronounce it right anymore. I have adopted your language.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
When we posted up on the Instagram that Kim was coming, which is why the show was delayed, somebody says, well, they can avoid saying the word scrotium. And as we were driving to the track this morning, she goes, why the hell would we do that?
Why would we avoid this word? It's
No, there's no reason to
a
avoid it.
word now.
The
This is-
greatest word ever.
Yeah.
All right, so should we move on to the next part of the show? It is news and notes time. I'm going to start. It is the upcoming beginning of the Formula One season. Thank you, Chrissy, for
Yeah.
making me watch this tremendously terrible sport. It's a fantastic sport. I shouldn't say that, but I had rid my life of watching any professional racing, and now I am back to watching professional racing, and I'm Googling things and I'm watching on Netflix. So thank you, Chrissy. But you should too, if you do watch or not watch. Join our Formula One Fantasy League. We have, I think, 14 people. The link is in our show notes. If you get this podcast early enough, you will still be able to join before the blackout period of the first race. So go to it now. Stop listening and go join our thing. But that's not what I'm here to say. What I'm here to say is, for the first time since 1996, the Mercedes safety car will not be in the Formula One race. Do you know why, Chrissy?
They
I
have
know you can
amazing
read it.
other ones.
They have an amazing other one. That's right. Aston Martin not only has come back as a team, but the Aston Martin Vantage will be the medical car, or no, will be the pace car, excuse me, the safety car. And the medical car is going to be an Aston DBX. Mental probably already knows this, but the Vantage pretty much has an AMG 4-liter twin turbo V8. So it's still kind of like Mercedes. Hat tip to Chris Sui at the drive. Link in the show notes for bringing us the story.
What I understand, they're actually going to be splitting safety and medical car duties with Mercedes. They're going to be
Oh,
there's going to be an AMG GT still and an AMG wagon still doing safety car. So, and we'll see what happens.
so is
but-
that more safety vehicles or just split?
Splitting, like Aston Martin said, we want to play safety car too, and so they let them.
So like race 1 will have Aston and race 2 will have Mercedes.
Yeah, because Aston both in F1 and in real life is a customer of Mercedes in buying motors and stuff from them. So Mercedes is like, okay, yeah, fine, you can do
Well,
that.
and let's be honest too. We know that there's going to be one of those where they go out there to start the safety car, click. It's electrical.
Yeah.
Get the Mercedes. We got to go.
Yep. So in other trends of copying Mercedes, GM has announced that the engines powering the new 668 horsepower CT5V Blackwing will be
Very
handled
excited about this car.
by one single person. Except instead of it's going to be Hans, it's going to be Bill. So
Fred.
Yep, just like AMGs, but unlike AMG, the Blackwing
Eve.
will be available with a 6-speed manual.
Ooh.
Peter Holdritz at the drive quoted Blackwing's chief engineer, a single builder that builds the whole engine, and when they're done, they'll use a plaque with his or her name. We machined a little spot on the supercharger lid where he can put it. Every customer will be available to see who built their LT4 engine. So save your pennies when GM starts building them. It'll be $90,000. Now, I have to say, from owning an AMG with the little plaque on it, that plaque is the perfect place to set your drink when working on the car because it's flat. It's right in the middle. You're not going to hit it. Works out wonderfully. Mental is disagreeing with me.
Why do you have drinks anywhere near my car?
I don't
Well,
anymore, but I did. You got to put them somewhere. Come on. If the Germans don't
But
design a place for your beer,
It was
like no one
was
will.
flat. Like it worked.
Yeah.
It was
It
good.
was just the right size for a long neck to sit on there.
The only time I've had to pop the hood aside from doing the front shocks was I actually had to take the intake off and spray throttle body cleaner into the two sensors because about once a year I get an error. It throws a code and I spray sensor cleaner in there and it goes away. But I've
You know why you only have to do
I've got
that
pull the
once?
cover off.
Because Chris has looked at that motor for a lot longer.
That's because he did all the hard stuff. That's
Correct.
now. If I
Yeah, when I had the throttle body, I cleaned it up. When I had it out, like in my hand, I was like, oh, I will clean this thing.
Yeah. If I had to do what Chris did on that motor, it'd be parked on the side of my house on blocks and I'd be driving something.
Yep.
Give it
This
give it a minute.
is class, like an AMG on blocks on the side of your house. Like, bring it up to neighborhood.
All right. Pour us out some canned Bud Light for the mighty Atlanta Dragway. Philip Thomas over at Haggerty tells us that the NHRA's longest running track on the nitromethane schedule is up for sale. Now, the NHRA confirmed this sale last December. They were hoping to find another operator to run the facility because they need the money to fund their other tracks. But in the listing, it contains these awful redevelopment words. Large mixed-use program of industrial, residential, and commercial uses. Now, despite the name, the
Good.
is actually 90 minutes down the road from Atlanta in Commerce, Georgia. And like so many of the children of the 70s, when we would be shuttled from one parent to the other parent for our custodies, mine was obviously done at the McDonald's in Commerce, Georgia. And I remember being able to hear those cars run down the drag strip from that McDonald's. And then fast forward to 2015, I got to go and watch the Nationals there. I got to stand right on the line with those nitro fuel things, and it physically sends a shockwave through your body. They call it baptism by nitro. It was amazing. The piece actually goes on to warn against every time that they have shut down these functioning drag strips near major metropolitan areas, you have a spike in kids being idiots because now they've got no safe place to go. And no one ever listens until the track is closed. But when they build all their little cookie cutter houses there, they'll wonder why the roads aren't safe. We got a link to that article in our show notes. It's worth a read.
Okay.
Damn kids. Damn kids.
Get off my lawn.
Get off
Oh,
my
wait.
lawn.
I
Yeah.
don't have a drag strip to go to anymore. Okay.
So English, I was going to say in Jersey, they're all becoming lots for heck is it where you buy the crash cars?
Demo Derby?
Opart.
Copart. They're all becoming Copart yards.
Part. Oh.
Okay.
Okay. In the realm of good news, the historic Bondurant high performance driving school is becoming the Radford Racing School, and it has its investors is a Formula One champion, Jensen Button. James Gilroy highlights that the Bondurant High Performance Driving School filed for bankruptcy in 2018, but changed owners, underwent millions of facility upgrades, and a curriculum overhaul. It has great reviews, but because it is no longer the Bondurant family biz, it's not going to be named after them. The Chandler Arizona dedicated facility is now the Radford Racing School. Its new owners hope to make a destination for gearheads. In addition to Button, the other investor, Wheeler Dealers Anstead, aims to dig Radford not just for a Western foothold, but a global one, turning Radford into a modern lifestyle brand that's all about appreciating cars. Link in our show notes.
Instead of Radford, if they for a high performance driving school, if they'd called it Rockford, that'd be great because he learned your turns at Rockford, right? Come on, how did they miss that?
Send them that idea.
Too late now.
Too late
Yeah,
now.
they already bought the T-shirts. Can't change that.
E1R Business Consulting. You'd have boomers lining up.
They say, but we already have these coffee mugs. What are we going to do with these?
We'll buy you new coffee mugs. Shut up and take my money. Bring me some Firebird.
You could just fix it with a Sharpie. Upcoming races. Lucky Dog is at Indy Motorsports, Arizona for the Sabre Dog GP. 28 cars. We're unable to tell you the BMW versus Miata versus Honda count because it was not published, but there's some familiar names like Occupy Pit Lane, Silver Fern, also some funny ones as well, like El Paso, Texas. All one word, Hell, H-E-L. Okay. Drunky Wrench. Drunky Wrench and the Traveling Dingleberries. That's one team name. Stay safe, everybody out there.
But most importantly, Lemons is finally kicking off the 21 season with the Can't Get By You here at NOLA Motorsports Park, and we are already here. Boom. 66 cars, 7 BMWs.
Boring.
12 Miatas, 5 Hondas, 12 Porsches, and a 77 Dodge Monaco, and it is spelled Cajun. Met that team today. They actually brought 2 of them because they needed one for spares. And to quote it, we ain't taking but one off this track. So it is going to be, they are already planning for failure. Good on them.
A 1977 Monaco.
Yeah.
Yes.
Holy.
I mean, that is full.
That
is full out malaise right there. That is.
Eric,
that's great.
Eric is drooling down here. He can't wait to see it.
What
Excellent.
body is that? That is a fantastic beast right there.
Big. That's what it is.
Ooh.
Yep.
All right. Recent results. Champ Car had their NCM Grand Prix at the Corvette Museum. First was Whiskey Tango Foxtrot's 91 Miata. There were 90 seconds over Flat Out Nemesis and their 09 Miatas. So the Miatas really dominated there. One lap back was Visceral
Like
Racing.
20 of them.
Yeah.
There was a
the
lot of them.
non-Miatas were less than the Miatas, I think,
Yeah.
at this one, based on what we saw last week.
Yes. And why are they all there? One lap back was Visceral Racing in an 88.944. Each one of those podium finishers were first in their classes A, B, and C, respectively. The Squirt and Coronas, our buddies down there, were 28th. And Team Chev Mullet in their 82 El Camino was 46th. Managing only 43 laps. So something tells me the Chev part of the Chev Mullet did not last that long.
I honestly, I think it might have also just been, there was a Molly Hatchet reunion concert nearby, and they had their priorities and they had to go.
And the Coronas must have had some trouble because 28th at a place dominated with Miatas, they should have been able to do better.
Well, their car needs a little time to kind of build up a head of steam on the straights. It's not exactly all that agile. Oh, well.
Listener feedback time.
So on the Instagram, Too Much Metal was tearing the carpet out of his RX-7, and he tagged us because he found nearly $4 of sticky change. And he exclaimed, "This car is paying for itself." And if you've ever pulled carpet out of a new to you car, know what sticky change is, but we took an over under, didn't we, on how much sticky change Chrissy would have? And I believe it was 0.
Wait, you took
And
an
you were
over
correct.
under? Did
Yes.
you really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
No.
cute.
The
We
only things we
just all knew
found.
there would be no sticky change in Chrissy's.
No, there was no sticky.
Yeah.
There was change though.
No, none.
No.
We found
I-
two craisins and a variety of paper clips. That was it.
The paper clips were fun shapes though.
They
Yes,
they were very fun. Yeah, one was a sun and one was a cat and one was I don't even know.
I think a dinosaur.
I saw them in the little
They're they're
parts
right
bin,
over
and I
there.
was like,
Oh, they're right over there.
"Is that a paper clip?"
Yes, and
How
so
much-
and 2 sticky notes that had phone numbers on them and a to-do list.
How much sticky change was in the Z?
Oh, who knows?
I don't
at that
remember.
point?
I think
Yeah.
we had a dish full.
Yeah,
Yeah, and,
that was a long
and-
time ago.
Oh, nobody wants to take
Omar already spent that on something.
Nobody
Uh,
wants to
that's very good.
touch somebody else's sticky change. Okay. Posted
That's why-
what? Go ahead.
So that's why you pour it in the Coinstar machine at the supermarket.
And then it gets
Get-
stuck to the
Let them
sides
deal
'cause
with
it's gross. Okay. I posted a what you're working on midweek. We did some dry ice sound deadening removal. Joseph K was prepping for his first ever event this year of the year with a seat installation of his hoop deep plus all the other things I've been putting off for the last few weeks.
Alex L was modding electric go-karts with the Grand Prix New York Aerospace Engineer Mechanic to make them ready for some endurance series. Bring your rib pads, folks. That's the thing that kills you in endurance go-karts. It's terrible. Tim B had something big. We don't know what it was. And parts for his newest Random Park exposition. But then actually, this is an addition here. Tim had a whole bunch of parts stolen off the wet-ass Pontiac
Oh, so
Yes.
in his
sad.
enclosed trailer.
Yes.
How about a Solstice
Ridiculous.
in a trailer? Someone managed to steal the seats. How do you get
do
the
you-
the seats
wait,
are
wait.
hard to get out
A
with opening the
Solstice
doors.
with the hard top on it.
I think they took the top off, but still, like
Oh,
it's hard to
okay.
get that out. And the worst part is they took the Sparco steering wheel with the quick disconnect, but that means they have half the quick disconnect, so we have only half, and you can't buy half a quick disconnect anymore. Oh,
Oh,
it's a
man.
shame.
I'm
They
sure if
stole
you
kind
find
of
a
tools
pawn
and stuff
shop-
like that too.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
find a pawn shop near a dispensary, it's probably in there for $12.
probably.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Oh well. Daring Greatly Racing said this week we're working on our tan and had a picture of his legs at the beach. So we all hate him. Cameron L added a technique for us: dry ice crushed and isopropyl alcohol mixed makes great paste to paint on and remove sound deadening. Some cardboard and duct tape will hold it vertically. Did we do any vertical? I don't think I've ever done.
Yes,
any
we did.
vertical.
Yes, we
Oh,
did.
okay. And then he added there that he did his test bend on his tube because he's starting to build rolled cages. So good for you. The very first bend when we bought our bender, 10 years ago, 11 years ago, Chris?
It was with our Wartburg IOE money, so that was 2010.
Yeah.
So 10 or 11 years ago, we still have that same test bend. Nice.
I will-
And still use it all the time, actually.
Yeah.
That's an interesting way to do the vertical stuff. What we did is we put the dry ice, like all the cubed, crunched up dry ice, in one of the bags it came in, and hung it on something
With
over
heavy,
the top we had
heavy,
with magnets and stuff,
heavy
right?
magnets. Yeah.
There you go.
And it didn't work as well as it does on the floor, but it got it. It's done. So
Bruce Stevens said he was having rear end issues, the bad kind. Wish you well at the proctologist, Bruce.
Wow.
Oh, not that kind of bad rear end. Sorry. I Suck at Racing. Lemons had the Sunday Fundoro at Road America. Next week, they will be doing the trash sprints at Barber and Dirt Oval. Also, there is a time change for this week's race. The first race will start at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at USA International Dirt, and then another on dirt at 5:30. The Barber full course for 2 races. Join them all at the race or watch us on YouTube because we'll have a fun time. However you watch the race, check it out. It's kind of fun.
I will
absolutely.
be playing. I'm sorry, I'll miss this one too.
I mean,
Yeah,
we're
might
going
not
to be
even make
working
it.
on
We're
the
gonna be working
car,
on the
so
car. Yeah.
that
We might
time
join
change
in
is
late.
tough for a lot.
Yeah. Hey, for the E1R race, though, we went to Barber, except none of us actually did that, so we can't tell you what happened. I was welding base plates in the cage until 9:20 that night, so I don't know what y'all's excuses are.
Resheathing my roof until literally after dark, and I couldn't see anymore.
Because I spent the weekend working on cars, I had to spend the evening playing video games with Josh.
Mhm.
So, no iRacing for us.
They had more fun than I did. I know that for sure, because welding base plates is the worst. Ugh. The report from Uncle Dave, though, is that Jay Becker won both races. Everyone raise your hand if you're surprised.
No, I'm not.
No hands. Anyway, and Uncle Dave finished second. Also, no surprise. Hey, join us each week, though, for some fun, good, clean, but not really competitive track time. And definitely join us on the Discord, too, for some good laughs, without a doubt.
You never know. It's always surprise butt sex.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really as much of a surprise anymore, because like it's just when. Like, it's coming.
And from home.
And as always, we usually run the track that is the next week's track for Lemons. So it's a good way to test and tune for the Lemons track event. Check out I Suck at Racing to find more about the Lemons iRacing.
That's what most of the aliens do. They come there to test some setups and stuff.
Unless their track is boring, and then we decide we don't care, and then we go somewhere else.
Or run Irwindale Jump, because you
Yes,
can never go
we
wrong
just
with
like that.
Irwindale Jump.
All right.
You know whose track is never boring?
I was gonna say, you know who loves Irwindale Jump?
She would if she played it.
In her Mazda 5. Yeah.
By the way, Kim wanted to make sure we can cuss. Are you guys fucking cool with that? Is that some shit we can be down with, or?
I don't know. Your dad
No,
doesn't
Mental, we
listen
don't stand
anymore,
for
right?
that kind of shit.
What fucking words is she gonna say? That's what I want to know.
It's Scrotium around here.
I'm going to attempt to move beyond Scrotium tonight. Watch out.
Oh. Scrotium is 119 on your elemental chart there. So we never actually said hi to Chrissy's mom and family. So I'm going to say hi to Chrissy's mom, and we're going to move on to the main topic time.
We are so pleased to have the queen of motorsport logistics, the glue that holds the race and teams together, the funny, rule enforcing, fancy dressing Kim Harmon. Thank you for having us. Thank you for allowing to be on our show. Thank you for being on our show. We're very excited.
Oh, yeah,
I wore cool socks.
Heck yeah! Everybody's showing their socks. You can't see it if you watch. Oh, Kim's socks are awesome. They're one of the unicorns.
Yeah. Up your sock game.
Amazing.
Oh, that is a fantastic sock.
Okay. So, Kim, we have some questions here for you, but where do you want to start? We just want to hear about you, what you do for motorsports, and anybody who just doesn't know you. We want to, let them.
Well, there's this bingo card thing you got going on, and I noticed that one of the things on there is that someone talks about something no one cares about, and I'm terrified. Like everything I'm going to talk about is going to be like.
That's not true. That's not
Chris,
true at
your
all.
mic's off. Chris, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry. That's there for Mental more than anybody else. So just, yeah.
Facts.
He's
Facts.
like, yeah, okay.
So since you were worried, we can guide you through this process. We will guide you like you guide us at the track when I can't find my driver's license, or I really want to buy that t-shirt, but I only have $7 of nickels in
Or
my
I
pocket.
forgot my
And your
pen and
sticky change. $7
sticky change. So why don't we start with many people know you from Lemons, but they have no idea what it is that you do. They just know that you're the girl in the cool socks who takes their driver's license. Do you have a title for the things that you are doing, and how would you describe them at a typical Lemons race? And then we're going to get to your actual real racing work.
Well, I have an unofficial title that Jay wouldn't let me make official, and that is the shit show prevention manager.
oh,
How does Eric get to be the everything bagel, but you can't be the shit show manager?
Exactly. Please, please argue this case.
The
for me.
SSPM.
wow.
Put that on the card. The SSPM. There it is.
That's exactly it's everything that what you do.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's exactly what you do.
Everybody loves it when I tell them, but Jay didn't want to go for it.
I mean, do you have a business card?
Under the bus, but
I think now everyone will now show up.
Right?
I'd like to speak to the shit show prevention manager, please.
And then what are you
That's
going to
great.
ask them, or what are you doing that is probably part of the shit show? That's the problem.
That's amazing. So, give us a rundown of some of the ways that people will run into you at the track at a Lemons event. Like I said, we're going to get to your other career.
I mean, at the track, it's really just more signing in, HQ stuff. They'll see me. If there's, I mean, that's really it.
Well, you also sell the swag, right? I mean,
Well, I try to have a staff that kind of, helps me in HQ, but there's always behind the scenes fire putting outing that I'm doing that people might not be aware of. But yeah, it's just making the event go smoothly.
you have to deal with track management a lot, we hear.
Yes, indeed.
Funny you
Yes.
mentioned that.
Oh.
We won't
The
get
bulk
there.
of what I do is behind the scenes before the event. So once you see me on site, most of the stuff's done.
The fires are out by the time your face makes it to the track, or by time the racers make it to the track.
Yes, I'm not doing my job well if not.
Awesome. So, and you have some sort of official presence at lots of real races and professional races. So, can you give us a little bit about what you do at those things? We won't make you call out your actual employers in case they're listening. They're not listening.
Yeah, generically, I just do lots of different independent contractor work in various realms of racing, whether it be pro racing or amateur. So yes, I do have some pro racing clients that I do work for occasionally.
And do you typically work for teams or for the sanctioning bodies at those things?
Currently, it's teams, but in the past, I have done event management for other race series.
Excellent. Of avoiding their shit shows.
Correct.
That's awesome.
Fallen in. It's a niche market you've fallen into, Kim, is general racing shit show prevention. That's well done. You've carved that out
Yes.
well.
All right, I'll look to my folks here in case they want to jump in on the next question. If not, I'll keep going.
Yeah, I'll take the first one. So,
Go ahead.
how did you get started in motorsports?
So I grew up in a racing family, a car enthusiast and racing family. No one was ever behind the wheel. It was all just enthusiasts. And my dad kind of crewed on a team with some guys that went racing from our car club. And I just, as a teenager, I thought, oh, I'll go to the races with Dad. There's going to be some boys there.
Did that work out? No.
They're still boys. We're nothing but
That's the problem.
Side note, my father is an electrical engineer for his career. He's retired. And, I was socialized as a female growing up. My brother was the one that got all the garage time with Dad. Didn't bother me at the time. So with me going to the races for the boys initially, the first time I went to the track as a teenager, that's not the first time I went to the track, but as a teenager, when my brain was doing other things, as soon as I got there, it's like, forget the boys, like a light bulb went off. And I realized there's a lot more of my dad's brain in me than I realized. And racing just made a lot of sense. The cars were just cool. And I just really got into it, just the whole technology and everything behind it. So yeah, I forget the boys. I just started really digging racing and cars and all that stuff.
Awesome. Was your father supportive in this? Or was he like, oh,
Dad, if you
okay.
met my dad, everyone loves my dad. And he is the proudest dad because he thinks it's so cool that I ended up making a career out of racing, which by the way, was never my intention ever. I went to college for something completely different and worked in a different industry for a while. And I never intended to make a career of it. That's just how it ended up because of my enthusiasm. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah. Oh, come on. I think most of us ended up in a field we didn't initially intend on when we were 19 years old.
True.
Put it that way. All of us, definitely everyone on this screen, except maybe Jeff, but the rest of us, here's where it landed. Yep.
yeah.
No, the high school guidance counselor did not have Dean Wormer on the list for me either.
So I think you already answered Chrissy's other question because
Yeah, I just took it off.
took Chrissy's question. So tell us what you like and you don't like, aside from not being able to be given your proper title, which again, for everyone listening, is the shit show prevention manager for Lemons.
Jay's gonna kill
What
me.
do you like?
He doesn't listen. It's fine.
Yeah. Don't worry. Everyone should tweet at him. You hear that, Donnie? So what is it that you like and don't like when you're working with the Lemons folks? Not the Lemons folks. Not like, hey, Jay's a jerk. What are the best things and worst things about a Lemons weekend?
Yeah, that's something that requires a little more thought than I had time to put in. Well, which is a good thing, because if there's nothing that comes to mind right off the bat that I don't like, that's a good sign, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Lemons has always, I've been with the Lemons, this will be my 12th year. I can't think of anything that stands out as horrible. They're always fun events. There's always amazing people. I don't know. You might have to hone that question down a little to get me to admit things.
All right. Well, here's the hone down. If you could ask Lemons teams to stop doing something to make your life better, what would be something that they can do for you?
This is going to be the most boring answer ever. But Nick Pond is actually the one who deals with the customers more than I do, because he's doing all the front end registration and question answering. If you ever have him on, I guarantee you he's going to have a lot more to say.
We know his answer. We've had him on.
Yep. And Nick is excellent. He makes sure that everyone gets their preferred parking spot and weather for every single race, no matter what.
If you've got bad weather, it's totally Nick's fault.
Yeah.
And you really should email him the exact dimensions of your RV to make sure that you get the spot that's big enough for it.
Yeah, speaking of that, that was something that annoyed me last week. Was a guy who was trying to secure his spot for pit race, I think, and he did want to tell us exactly how big his unit was. Oh God, there must be an inside joke, because that wasn't funny.
No, that's just great.
No, this happens all the time.
29.7 feet.
Yeah, he was trying to guarantee. He must be new, because A, he was bragging about how big his unit is. B, he wanted to guarantee that he had a spot for his unit. So
I got a spot for his unit. Let me tell you.
Yes, so
That's always good.
That was quite annoying when we told him, no, your camping fee covers just being able to stay overnight. You have to reserve an RV spot and pay the track separately for that. And he was like, well, that's just unreasonable that I'm paying for a camping fee and that doesn't reserve a spot. That's
And stay at Walmart.
outrage.
There you go.
So it's that type of stuff that we get annoyed with. Is
So
like,
basically,
I don't know if you're coming from Porsche Club where they kiss your ass all the time, or where you're coming from, but this shit doesn't fly in Lemons.
Write that down,
basically
Porsche
don't be a
Club.
dick.
I've been a Porsche
Don't be
Club
a dick.
instructor. Porsche Club doesn't kiss your ass either. Porsche Club's like, don't give a shit.
Well,
Yeah.
Kim, I know that you deal with you've already called out Porsche Club, but you deal with real racers and you deal with Lemons racers. When you're without calling out someone specific, who is better at making Kim mad? The idiots who think they're important in real racing, or the idiots who think they're important in Lemons racing?
Lemons. Yeah, no, it's the guys that don't have a clue what Lemons is, and they come in and they just think that we owe them something. Either they learn this isn't their paddock and they move on, or they learn how to behave. One or the other.
It's just like some of the things that I've built when I weld. It's self-clearancing.
Yes, exactly.
If something's sticking out a little bit and really wants to have their RV spot and is very upset that they can't reserve it, they'll go find somewhere else.
Exactly. Yeah.
I feel like that answers my question of what's the fastest way to get in your bad side, which, don't do this, new people, which I'm going to go with, don't show up acting like Lemons owes you anything.
Yeah, it's the whining. Yeah, it's whining. Or just being dumb in general.
Definitely being dumb.
What's hard to get away from? I mean, this is the American public.
Is there a super dumb guy story you can tell us? Like, did anybody ever just like show up like without pants and be like, "Can I get in a race car?"
Or the biggest, like a big face palm, like, oh.
Like
really?
you're literally the worst person I've ever had to deal with, the dumbest person I've ever had to deal with.
Aside from us, I mean, we know we're on that list somewhere, but that was a while ago. We got better.
I know there's good stories, but I'm so bad at off the cuff stuff. Like I have to plan.
Need more drinks.
To talk about.
More drinks, more alcohol.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Or craisins.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've done dumb stuff. We know that. We try now a little harder. We got better. Yeah, that self-clearancing thing happens.
What about like the folks that show up when the track arranges a practice day? Trying to so for the practice day, and you're like, not us, don't care.
That's
Okay, all right, yes.
See, here's the
thick skin, and so and because of kind of all my years in pro racing and the egos that go along with that, I've got pretty thick skin. But really, it is the stupidity that.
Well, and I think that's probably the problem is because I've come up and asked you some incredibly dumb things and had some incredibly lousy things happen to me at the track. And you just always kind of like, you tilt your head a little bit like my dog looks at the TV and you go, okay, Jeff, what would you like me to do? And then usually you can solve my problem or you send me away to solve my own problem. And then everything works out great. And the weekend is saved. And the shit show is prevented, and manna falls from the sky, and Soggy brings me bacon, and then everything's fine.
Yes, I am sorry that I am not supplying better service.
Well,
Right.
Is it fair to say that just if you're listening to? Actually, I would argue that if you're listening to the show, you already recognize Kim owes you nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty
I
cool.
think our entire listener base knows that. But if someone has recommended this show to you, understand this. Kim owes you nothing.
Yeah.
In fact, you should bring her a cup of coffee.
But I do try to provide good customer service.
You do.
With the
Without
new
a doubt.
but I don't mind a little bit of hand holding to make sure the experience is good and that their questions are answered. It's not that. I don't want to make it sound like I'm unapproachable and like, don't come to me with anything. It's not like that at all.
That's
seen
John
you deal
Pagel.
with-
When John Pagel's in charge, that's
Yeah.
what that's like.
Yeah.
It's like, don't ask me any questions or you're gonna get sassed. And then I'm gonna make fun of you and laugh at your lousy skills.
That's why he's in that job
Yeah.
and not in the shit show
Yeah.
prevention job.
If anything, Kim has to deal with the cleanup of the Pagel show with something sometimes, but oh well. So Kim, you were around your dad racing. You were around, not your dad racing, but around that whole scene. You've been around racing forever. Have you ever done any racing yourself, or do you have any desire to? Do you care, or do you just like the atmosphere?
I mean, I've done a tiny little bit, but it's not enough to really talk about. I know where my talents lie, and it's behind the scenes, not behind the wheel. So, that's just, I'm not highly motivated to be behind the wheel, but I've dabbled.
So that's like a lot of Lemons racers. They're like,
I was gonna say, none of us have any talent behind the wheel. We still dabble.
so you have to
I think I
waste
could
money
do
on
far
something.
more good in life with what shit show prevention than what else would happen if I were out on track.
Well, you're really good at that shit show prevention stuff, so that's good.
I'm gonna stick with what I'm good at.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of end of the year episodes where we do lots of top 10 lists and things like that. Top lists, best of. Who's the best track out there? Like if there's a track that you would like say, I love this track so much, I would come here week after week after week. Who is it? Give them a shout out and tell us why they're so awesome.
You mean like from the way they run the track and
Everything in
make our
Kenmore.
life pretty easy?
Yeah.
Gosh, let's see. Let's run down the list.
And your home track is Atlanta, right? You're from Atlanta area?
Right, Atlanta, yeah. Autobahn Country Club definitely is top of the list. Mike Gritter does a bang job there. He's great. He makes our life super, super easy. Thompson, dang, those guys run a good show with a short staff, a little staff. It's a good track. Listen to my Southern coming out now.
I said the word Atlanta, and all of a sudden you're a Southern girl.
There it is. What else do we have?
Let's see.
Name some more tracks.
Barber, New
So-
Hampshire. Wow, that is a
Oh, there's some silence
Yeah.
there.
I think a silence is okay.
CMP,
Yes.
which we're not going back to. How about
No, we will someday.
how is
New Hampshire.
NOLA done this year?
It's like, I'm not talking about that thing.
Okay.
Well, it's
All right.
it is. I'm throwing a buddy of mine under the bus. He's very new, Kyler, and this is his first kind of like really busy weekend, and he is all enthusiasm, no experience. So we're
And that's coming from you. With something.
we're
'Cause
having
that's
fun.
how we describe
No.
you with other people.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
How about
Yeah.
West Coast? Sonoma or Ridge or High Plains
High
or
Plains is great. Glenn out there, he's really, really good too. He takes good care of us and really super easy to work with. No drama. Other West Coast tracks.
Yeah. All right.
Sonoma's
Well, we
pretty
got
good. Sonoma's pretty
we
good
gotta-
because they're pretty professionally run, so they do a really nice job.
Can you tell the difference between like the big corporate owned? I mean, there's a lot of them out there that are owned by the NASCAR group, whatever the heck they
Speedway
call themselves.
Motorsports owns a
Speedway
bunch,
Motorsports, thank
obviously.
you. Versus like the family owned, like, you know, it's still owned by the sons and daughters of the people who actually built the place.
Yeah, there's definitely differences. But let's take Sonoma and New Hampshire. Even those are owned by the same group, right?
Speedway, yeah.
But those are completely different run, like completely different experience, even though they're owned by the same deal. Same with Road Atlanta and Sebring. They're owned by the same entity and completely different experiences there.
So really, it's the local management that matters more
Yes,
than
it
the
is.
ownership series.
100% who's on the ground running things.
Absolutely. And didn't you said Thompson was really good? Didn't they get a new track manager this year?
I was going to say that.
Wait, what?
Maybe last
No,
year.
no, no.
last year.
Last year. I thought it was a
Last
new
year.
person.
Well, last year you were very intimately involved with that whole thing, like staying in.
Had to
Connecticut
come
with
like
no
a week
power for
early,
a couple weeks.
You know.
Yeah.
Using
Well,
your van for power.
the guy who took over was already there. I just think when they downsized because of COVID, his duties increased. He did a great job. He handled it very well.
Jeff missed his other friend who used to be
Right.
there.
That's what
Yeah,
that's what we're getting.
The
at.
former track manager loved my jokes. He just
He did not at all.
just really appreciated every single joke that I did. I once made him talk to a hand puppet for like 10 minutes.
That's excellent.
The hand puppet asked the questions, which he hated.
And then when he would look at me, I would point to the hand puppet like,
Talk to him, not me.
That's why
is
he quit,
fantastic.
Jeff. That's
I
why
love that.
you don't know that. That's why he left.
I love that.
Are
When
you
was the time you asked him, Dom or sub?
Starters meeting with the
Start the
fantastic
meeting.
shark? And yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
He did appreciate it because he did put up with it. He just really enjoyed like, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna roll my eyes at this idiot, and then I'm gonna move on.
Like a lot of straight face too, right?
He
Where
did, he
You're laughing, everyone else is like smirking, and he's like just totally making it look like it bothered him, kind of thing.
Oh, fantastic show.
Here's another question we got for you. Fantastic cars. There has been some absolutely fantastic cars in Lemons. Is there anything else is there any car that you remember that you were like, that is the greatest theme or the greatest car? Or is there something maybe that you haven't seen that you'd love to see?
Because we get a lot of Eric, and
Oh,
Eric likes weird stuff.
I know, and I am, again, here's the boring answer. Gosh, I suck as a guest.
You do not. This is great.
There are so many good ones, and I just have such a terrible memory. So if someone said, "Hey, how about that car?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I love that car." But to be able to think of it off the top of my head, that's where I suck. Thinking of stories off the top of my head, thinking of cars off the top of my head.
Oh, what about
I
like
suck.
the Viking
boat.
like they used to run years ago? That had like the dragon kind of the ship running through that one.
Yeah, I mean,
That was a long time ago, Metal.
That was
yeah.
a long time ago.
He's been doing it 12 seasons now.
We've had some discussion about hat cars that don't look like cars. When you put something totally different, like the boat was a hat car, the Speedies weenies, the what else is
cake.
the birthday cake was a great hat car. So we had like a lot of the cars that are no longer what they used to be.
yes, those are always fun to see, and I hope those never die down.
More hat cars, people.
Much needed in Lemons. Yes.
There's the anti-Pagel answer. More hat
That's
cars.
right, more hat cars. We need more cars on top of other cars.
Or things on top of other cars. It doesn't have to be a car.
Thank you, Chrissy.
Yeah.
Mhm. Various assorted detritus that
Detritus
you found.
that is strapped well.
Yes.
Yes, it's stuck
Very
well
well
to your
secured.
car.
Not just ratchet straps. Better than ratchet straps. Yes.
Well, that's just a theme right there, Chris. The
Better.
detritus theme.
Yeah, Sasha has to do it, I think, because he's halfway there.
He is. He is.
Right. Yep.
Oh,
It's a good Sasha
boy.
theme. You heard it here first.
That's not a theme. That just is.
That's just it.
A lifestyle you wouldn't understand.
That's right.
The lifestyle. Yeah.
Chrissy, do you want to ask the next one?
Sure. Yeah. Do you see a growth of women in motorsports? Lemon is another series at all? I mean, you see people coming and going. There's a lot of women. There's more women now in the paddock, but do you see them more, especially since you've been in the sport for a long time?
I would say most definitely yes, particularly in pro racing. It is amazing to see the increase in females in the paddock in various capacities. It's really great to see. When I first got started, it was just a handful, and that's nearly 30 years ago now. Sorry, I'm showing my age. But no, yes, the pro paddocks in particular is very impressive how many more females are around.
Nice. They really haven't grown so much in the driver area as much as some of the other engineering and mechanical areas is what I've seen in
Yeah,
some
no,
of
it's-
the pro regs.
Saw some women this past weekend in Sebring 12 hour. They were like hauling tires. They were like tire chicks. It's like, damn, really impressed. Like, this is great.
Any idea how they got there?
It's got to be hard to break through that ceiling a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes. And next time I see her, I'm going to ask that question because I'm super impressed by
Please.
tire chick. Yeah.
That's awesome. Because we have Chrissy on the channel, we've become much more attuned to the things that are happening. I frequently overhear people ignoring Chrissy or pretending that she's not part of one of our driver crew. We've talked frequently about how she chooses not to wear pink, even though the women's suits are typically pink because she wants to not be seen as a woman driver. Yeah. So one of the things that because I'm near it, I hear some of the things that are said. So is there any
Are things being said?
Yeah. Remember like when the person said, you should check out the corkscrew tomorrow.
That
And you were
happened.
like, I
I'll
will
drive
when I'm in the
foot.
car.
That happened. I was pissed.
Oh,
Yeah.
did you say?
I said I'll drive through it, and he talked to me. Yeah, so this is at Sebring, excuse me,
Laguna Seca.
Laguna Seca, and I was helping with check-in, and he was like, "Oh, you should. Is your first time here? Yeah, I'm so excited to be here. Oh, well, you should go. You make sure you go up at the hill and watch from the corkscrew. It's gonna be really cool." And I was like, "So I'm gonna drive it tomorrow, and then I'll see it on the track." Pretty sure I said that. I mean, like,
No, it's exactly what you said because I was right there about to jump in, like because
But when I pass you, I'll say, "Good call."
Oh yeah, I don't even know if they were driving or not. I didn't even. I was so appalled that conversation where a person I didn't want to even talk to you. He just said that to me. Oh, cool. I probably got about that guy.
We showed up a couple hours early and the shit show was in full effect.
Oh yeah.
And we were from, obviously from Jersey and Pennsylvania, and we had flown out for it, and we were special guests of the promoter, and we were like, do you need help with check-in? Because this is going really slow. The track has like one person out there who doesn't know what's going on. And it was raining really hard. So like the waivers were like a wet phone book, the pile of waivers. I was like, they didn't even have like rain cover for the gate. I was like, this is terrible.
What event was this?
It was a Lucky Dog event.
Lesser series.
Yeah.
At Laguna Seca.
At Laguna, yeah. And it wasn't Lucky Dog staff. It was the Laguna staff that were just completely overwhelmed.
So did they let Chrissy help?
Oh yeah.
So Jeff and I stood out in the pouring down rain. We just showed up and then, just worked. And we said, here. Yeah.
Was it
Well, that's what we do.
Thompson
Yes.
2 years ago? Was it Thompson 2019?
Yes.
And Chrissy just walks up to her and goes, "We're going to help you. Give me your clipboards and give me the waivers now."
And I was like, I'm going to organize these people. And I'm like, this is terrible. No.
Sign this and you hand it back. And they went, "Okay."
Trying.
Yeah. We've also talked a lot about the COVID changes, and we think that there has been so many positive effects of check-in and gear check and tech that have happened because of the COVID changes. Are there any any things you miss from COVID restrictions and rules, or any
or that you want to keep?
Or that you want to keep? Yeah, I was going to do miss.
I'm sure everyone already knows we're keeping tech times and we're keeping the gear tech.
Total improvements.
Yeah, tech times is so excellent.
Yeah, those two we're definitely keeping. The thing I dislike the most that is going to go away soon is always still having to think about COVID. Like today, we have to keep the paddocks separated and these people away from these people and put these delineators up to separate our paddocks. Like, I'm tired of thinking about that. I just want everyone to be together again and not have to think about that.
Yeah, we definitely miss hugging our friends that we
Yes.
only see at the races.
And eating with them and soggy bacon and
I still ate the soggy bacon. It didn't give me COVID.
But
He was wearing a mask when he gave it to me.
I'm pretty sure soggy bacon prevents COVID because I didn't get it. And I'm
No.
vaccinated now.
we've pretty much decided that we think it's safe for Soggy to come back and start doing his thing.
I think he's fine with it.
Yeah.
Jeff, I actually do want you to ask the second half of that last question. She won't remember because she doesn't do that, but it's still a good question.
So yeah, we were hoping you were going to tell us about some of the jerks that you had to deal with as a woman at the track, and see if you can remember any times that you were really, really treated differently. Because then I was going to say, where can we find them? And Mental and I will kick their ass.
And not just that, I will bring either Battle Scarred Motorsports or Ranger Road with me. And that will just be funny at that point.
Yeah. So has there ever been a roadblock? Did anyone ever just totally ignore you because of your XY chromosome?
They certainly tend to go towards the man first to ask a question. But I think you all are pretty good about saying, "Oh, ask her."
Yeah. Because you're going to come to me and be like, "Hey, what this?" I'm going to go, Kim, what do we do about this?
Help! Someone asked information. No, it's good to hear that the lemons paddock treats you right, but I'm sure traveling around, and that's probably the hardest part of your job, because the good part is at the track, the bad part is the travel, right?
No,
No,
no.
not living in your car in a van down by the river with no power.
No.
All right, and I will, if on the odd chance that Jay is actually listening to this, as someone who's done like professional automotive crap for other organizations and now, working for Lemons, her travel arrangements infinitely superior to everyone else's travel arrangements. There are no wake up at 4 a.m. flights. I don't sit in middle seats. We don't stay in sketchy hotels. I don't get a rental car that I have to take a taxi cab for 2 hours from the airport. And as the guy is giving me the thing and goes, now jiggle the key in the ignition, or, everything is done so much smoother with this organization.
Well, I'm sure you're giving Jay props, but we know that's Eric.
Yeah. No. She makes all the travel arrangements.
Oh, you make all the travel arrangements.
That's what we're saying. Kim does all that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
apologize.
Yeah, see, there's an asshole who assumed that the guy was doing the work.
Jeff, punch yourself in the face.
When we had Eric here, he talked about his office duties, and I could have sworn he said that, but I could be wrong. I freely admit that I'm wrong.
No, I book all the travel.
That was
Ah.
amazing. Can
That
we
was
get
great.
you? Can we get you that again? 'Cause that was awesome.
I like what. That's going to be the end of the show. Kim calls Jeff an MFer.
Not the first time, people. No,
In fact,
usually-
I think that's going to be the title of the show. Kim,
that's right.
Jeff.
Usually it's under her breath when I walk away from the booth.
Motherfuckers.
For the record, Jeff, you've never annoyed me at a race.
I know. I tried my best.
None of you have, except for mental. But
That's only since I started working. Yeah. Well, work is a place I go. It's not really something I do.
So, is there anything that anything that happened that was fantastic at the 12 hours of Sebring? Because we know you were there last week, and anything exciting, special for the Can't Get By You this weekend coming up?
I have something really kind of cool to. It's kind of a show and tell from the 12-hour.
Yay.
If I hold it up to the camera, will
Yes.
it?
Yes, because we can describe it for the podcast audience.
All right. So if anyone watched the 12-hour, and I'm guessing most of this crowd perhaps isn't the IMSA Pro Racing watching crowd.
IMSA is actually my favorite thing to watch. So,
Okay. Well, even if you don't watch it, listeners, you should go look up the video of the fire in pit lane that happened towards the end of the race, which was one of my cars for the team I was working with. It's a spectacular fire. And for you lemons and crap can racing people out there, it is a perfect demonstration of why your fire bottle person is so key in these situations. Anyway, that's not the point of the story. We had a fire, we put it out quickly, and we got back out on track. It was pretty minor. But after the race, when the car was back at the truck post-tech, they were just about to load it on the truck, and I just thought, oh, I'll snap a quick picture of the car post-race because it still had all the fire suppressant on it, right?
oh, keep getting a little closer. Get a little closer. Get all the way up there. Shove it right in the camera.
Hang on, there's a reason I'm keeping it at a distance, right?
Oh, okay.
But here's the cool part. The first few times I looked at that photo, I didn't notice this, and then I finally noticed it recently. So hang on, let me get this angle right.
Would you like this?
We can see it pretty good.
Okay, all right. So
So it's a car moving along, and then all of a sudden,
What the hell is that? All right, someone describe it.
all right. So this is a black race car. It has clearly been on fire because the back end of the car has fire
Dust.
extinguisher dust.
Yeah.
there's there's a black car. The extinguisher dust is white. There is a dark area that has been rubbed off in one spot on the quarter panel, rubbed off, and someone has drawn a phallus entering said dark area on the quarter panel. Yeah, somebody screenshot this.
Wait, hold on.
Wait, let's get like way close.
No, that's good. It's
That's
subtle.
good.
I
It's
like
good.
it.
It's good.
Yep.
Right where it is.
Yep. Metal doesn't have to mansplain it. It's okay.
I just wanna make
Now,
sure we get-
now he's the MFer.
Yep. Perfect.
No.
Just
you're
right.
not- I'm not taking
You're
Jeff's title.
I got it.
Thank you, Kim. That's excellent.
So I was just so pleased to know that pro racing TM dong exists. Like, really made me happy.
Oh
That is
crap!
so-
It didn't go. It didn't take.
I took a
I
picture.
think I got.
Oh, you
one,
got a
Jeff.
picture. Okay,
Dude.
good.
I think
You
I
have to
got
send
one.
it to me.
Yep. That's
So,
definitely
yeah, we just get you to text that to us.
Yep. That's excellent.
It's funnier with Kim's face next to it.
Yeah.
Can you get it?
Yeah, I got another one.
Okay. So
I've got one, Jeff. I'll send it to you.
We got it.
We're
We
good.
got it.
Yeah.
Yep, we got it. Good.
All
So
right,
someone
yeah.
at least still had a sense of humor about that fire. That's
you know
good.
what? There is a lot of humor in the Pro Paddock. Like you wouldn't suspect, but they really are a great sense of humor. Those crew guys are fantastic.
What I think I'm hearing is that not only are professional racers better at racing, but they're also better at not being jerk offs to the track and the track management.
Seriously, have no complaints about the Pro Paddock. Honestly.
That's great.
So take that, real racers in amateur
Yeah.
racing. If you
Yeah.
want to be a real racer, you be nice
Yes.
and no problems.
Kim, I swear at the last race, I saw Formula One scouts up in with their clipboards at the Lemons race.
They have special hats on.
They're watching us. And if I race really good at Lemons, I'm gonna get
They're
Bottas.
gonna call you.
Right.
I wouldn't want Bottas's seat. But anyway. Also, he's so small. We would not
Yeah.
fit in his seat.
I don't think any of us are fitting in Bottas's seat.
It's fine.
Ricardo.
It's
maybe.
fine.
But yeah.
Russell, now we're talking.
I don't know what any of these people look like. It's the only
Russell's
name I can
tall.
pull up. Oh, okay. So great. There is one more question left, and it is blue. That is you, Mental.
Oh, did I miss a question?
Yeah.
Oh, no, we asked that question.
At the very bottom.
The very bottom.
Oh, seriously? Do I need to refresh this? I think I may have lost
You
my.
might have. Yeah, because
All right. Give me a second here.
Well, mental.
you know what?
Not,
Yeah,
it's not worth it.
Well,
Okay.
Chris, go ahead.
Where do you buy your socks?
The world wants to know. This is the most important question of the entire interview. We always wait in the end.
Well, okay. So if I tell the world, that means everyone's gonna show up with awesome socks, right?
You have like a
Ah.
secondary store.
Nice.
that
I
you
will
like-
disclose. I will disclose. Most of them come from Socket to me.
Oh.
So now that I've
They should sponsor us. They should totally send us
Sponsor us.
a $12.
No, they should sponsor. Kim.
That's
It's
true.
something on the back of your jacket, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
like the money you spend at Blip Shift is like the money I spend at Socket to me.
Oh,
When you notice the tens of extra purchases on your thing, on your website, for every one of them, you just need to send Kim
Yeah.
another free pair of socks.
Hey, that's tens though. It's better than
Like-
fives. Usually that's how we count listeners. Oh, we have fives of listeners now.
I was going to say link in the show notes because now we'll put the link in the show notes.
Yes.
Excellent.
All right, Kim, you have been a fantastic guest, even though you don't believe us.
Yeah.
You have also been a fantastic host for all of us at all of the crappy Lemons races and have taken care of me when I have done stupid things like forgot my driver's license.
You didn't forget it. You
I did
just
forget it.
lost
I found it a day
On
later.
the internet. No,
No, on the
it was
inside of my
in
helmet.
his helmet.
that's right.
Hi.
Yeah.
It's a good place for it.
And actually, I would argue that if anyone listening has ever done a lemons race,
Oh.
the phrase you're looking for is "Thank you, Kim."
Thank you, Kim.
Yep.
This has been fantastic.
Well,
You,
I really hope that you guys rally for my title.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
oh,
we're there.
done
Yeah.
deal.
I feel like at Pit Race there may be a shirt or a.
Oh, shh. Shut it. Shut it.
Yeah.
Anyway, is there usually at this point we ask if they want to if our guest wants to pimp their social media, but I have a feeling that's going to be a no from you.
Yeah, I'm not a self-promoting person. Sorry.
I would pimp somebody else's, say 24 hours of lemons. And he's like, no, I don't even like
No.
them. Those idiots. Like,
All right. So, obviously,
Mental's good at plug.
Mental can plug like the wall. Wait till you hear this.
Oh my God.
So obviously, folks, if you want to see everything that Kim does and Eric and Nick and all the other great crew, you want to check out 24 Hours of Lemon on Instagram. In fact, I will be making some contributions to that this weekend. Always go and subscribe to the 24 Hours of Lemons YouTube channel. They've got new videos every week. And don't forget about Lemons Thursday Therapy and Lemons Car Spotting. So if you see a cool car or a really uncool car somewhere on the road, put that on Instagram, hashtag it with Lemons Car Spotting, because that gives Nick and Eric something to talk about every week. Or if you think it would make a cool race car, throw it up there. Check out the schedule. If you're not ready to start Lemons racing, check out the I Suck at Racing. And even if you're not really into sim racing, you should go check out these videos every Sunday. Watch the live broadcast from Bearded Sim Racer, and then follow all of this nonsense. And don't forget about the Lemons Rally, which is a great way to get involved with this really great community and not have to actually strap yourself into an explosive piece of crap.
Well,
No, I think
It'll
it'll
ex-
go around.
it'll
Regular
explode
drag
at street
crap.
speed.
Right, exactly. And you'll adhere to like road rules and legal speed limits in a piece of crap, which is a whole different type of fun, but still fun to do. At the end of the coming month, Dr. Florida Man and I will be doing the Texas Rattle Traps, then driving to Sebring, where Kim will be, and we will be working the 24 Hours of Lemons at Sebring. And if you have a Sebring, you get a free entry.
Or if you bring your mother, right?
Still not worth it. But
Because it's Mother's
If somebody does a theme of the fire bottle sprayed BMW for Saturday night, that could be.
You know what? That's going to be pretty deep because that means they're a listener and they saw the picture.
And
or
they saw the picture,
watcher.
and they-
Yes,
That's
and I
fantastic.
tell you what, I'll have to link the video too. Would that help?
Well,
Or
yeah,
if I
we'll
give you-
absolutely.
yeah.
Get that
Yeah.
taken care of. And in fact, you know what? I'm not going to see the I Suck at Racing iRacing, but I think every one of those cars that listen to this just needs a little
Just a little
on
spatch.
their car with a drawn-in dong. That'll be wonderful.
You know, Jeff, the Z is black, and I
The
have
Z
a
is
pair.
black. Absolutely. Are you kidding? I have a can of black spray paint. That shit is going to be permanent. Hate where you were going to put. Anyway, Kim, this is fantastic. Judging of or bribing of judges is now legal again. You are not
Yes, yes.
technically a judge, but you should still receive all the bribes. What would a smart team bring to you in either Louisiana this weekend, or where are they next weekend? In California somewhere. Will you be there?
Sonoma, yeah, I'll be in
Sonoma, and then
And
of
there's
course
pit
pit
race.
race in a month.
I've always thank you, first of all, for saying that people like me should be bribed too, because I believe it. And there's a particular person whose name we won't mention because it's on the bingo card, who was so good at every time a team would show up with like really nice food, he'd be like, no, we don't want that. We don't want that. And I'm just like, yeah,
Who the hell is that?
I'm not mentioning any names, but
Because they not on.
I love food. I love food.
We've definitely
Dude,
we've
we've bribed you with lunch several
Yeah.
times.
Yes,
lunch
you
to the
have.
tower. Yes.
Yes.
It's
Okay,
true.
yeah.
I even made your like own sandwiches.
Show me on the bingo because we got different bingo cards.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, they're random.
Oh.
So if you got yours,
We are super high tech.
totally call this idiot out.
Bingo cards.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Mental, look over her shoulder. Tell us who it is.
don't know.
Oh, all right. I won't call him out. I won't call him out, but you got to show me. Oh, okay. We'll talk about this on another episode.
When Kim's not here to get in trouble, we're totally calling her out.
Exactly. Here's the deal. You should never take bribe advice from someone with an obsession with 70s European dictators.
Got it. Done.
Absolutely. That's fair.
Yeah, when's the last time he's been to a race? Like never.
But the answer is obviously food and socks.
Food and socks.
Oh,
Amazing.
all right,
Well, the
all
hard part
right.
is finding one you don't
Not-
have yet. That's tough. Ugh.
Yeah, not store-bought,
Yeah,
not fast food, good food.
Yeah, good for you.
Oh,
And not store-bought
absolutely.
socks either. Like no tube socks here. No
I
Fruit
wear
of the
goofy
Loom.
skirts too, so goofy skirts.
There you go.
That's true.
Yeah,
Them shopping
yeah.
for goofy skirts. It's a little weird.
Yeah,
That's
You're
the
gonna end
man.
up with something you don't actually want, I think.
Have you
A
seen
skirt with
Mental?
dongs on it.
or Scrotium? Hello, we need Scrotium on it.
Yes.
Have you?
Scrotum skirt.
I don't have a skirt. I just have the moushelong legging.
That's what I was gonna say. Have you seen Mental in his sexy moushelong leggings?
I think I have, haven't I?
If you're not watching the iRacing, probably.
I mean, all fives of people that watch the iRacing.
Did you not bring them to the track, Mental?
I failed. I have failed.
Oh,
Oh, well, you put them in your bag for pit race, like right now.
He didn't want to.
when
He
you
didn't
get
want
home.
to compete with me.
Fact.
That's
It's
true.
probably good idea.
You're not competing. You're just the backup
Just
dancer.
let me
Mental.
have
That's it.
this, okay?
Let me have the tights. That's another mansplain.
I would give her my tights, but they would just look like loose, like sweatpants, so I
Well,
should order a set of moushelong leggings for Kim. That's what I'll do.
There you go. Link in the show notes to the moushelong leggings.
Right. There we go.
Does it work? Does the link work?
The link
We don't
works.
know.
Okay.
I touch it almost every week when I put it in the show notes, and it opens up. So
Sure.
that's what he said. So anyway, all right. Are we ready to move on?
I think we're ready to move on.
Okay.
Kim, please stick with us.
This is
I
our
know you're
favorite
hungry.
time.
But we're
No.
wrapping up.
I ate my nuts on.
Perfect.
It's just the tip time.
Oh, I have to say sorry to Erling because Jeff is
Jeff has been
so
really loud
tonight.
That's
Sorry.
okay.
Shoot.
We will
Okay.
bring back
Enthusiastic.
Swedish
Enthusiastic. Okay. So I posted our dry ice sound deadening removal technique on social medias. It generated a lot of response and some questions. So Al Jones asked, roughly how much dry ice does it take to do a small car? I've been putting off the same task for a while now, and I'm getting really close to cage time. So before we get to that, we're going to talk a little bit about dry ice safety. So if you aren't aware about what it is, like the ladies in the grocery store where we bought the stuff, it is like super ice. Solid carbon dioxide goes right from a solid to a gas. Typically, it's used when you go camping to keep food cold for a long period. You can't touch it and should not touch it without gloves. So don't try. Like the lady at the grocery store didn't realize it was going to burn her. She did that. So we use welding gloves, and then what I call, or what my profession calls, monkey grips, that we use to deliver propane. So that's how we handled it. And they have to be thicker. They have to be thicker than mechanics gloves at all. Like they're not going to work at all.
Did you use welding gloves?
Welding. Yeah, you're not listening.
Oh,
Thanks.
sorry.
That's okay. And so it also can be an
Another
asphyxiant,
man not listening to a woman. There you go.
right?
Damn it.
Sorry, I'm checking my text messages that you all sent me during the
This
show.
is why I talk fast so nobody interrupts me. It's also an asphyxiant. So you're supposed to keep it in a well-ventilated area and don't stick your head in the freezer where it's stored, just in case. It comes in bricks. So you need to use hammers and chisels to break it up. Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about how it is used and what we did for some of our techniques and what we used it for. We used it for removing the sound deadening out of a car. We purchased 15 pounds in 5 blocks, which was too much for what we needed, but we didn't know. So when we bought it, we dropped it in the car, busted up the blocks into smaller pieces with the hammers and the chisels, but not into tiny pebbles. You want to make them into like rocks, like
And golf ball
Hand-
size rocks.
sure, that sounds great. Yeah, so that to tennis ball type size, and all different. Doesn't really matter what. It doesn't have to be round or square or anything like that. So spread them all out over the sound deadening, and then wait for like 5 minutes. But you don't have to but probably be less than that, but about 5 minutes. Start hammering the floor where the sound deadening is. If it's cold enough, it's going to start coming up in big sections. If it's not, put the dry ice back onto it, let it chill, let it freeze, start over again. When you're done taking that part of the sound ending off, move dry ice around to other spots, repeat. So make it sure it's cold, chill it, hammer it, should come up and should do pretty well. The only problems that we had a little bit was where there was that really extra seam sealer around the plugs on the floor. So they're the only things that really needed to be chipped up. So the question of Al Joan was, how much do you actually need? And unknown. So if you have a normal sedan, which is our car, we had about a normal amount of sound deadening that needed to be removed. 15 pounds was plenty, but you don't want to not have enough and wish you had bought more. So just buy enough.
Let's say 10 to 15 is probably a good estimate, depending how big your car is.
And
How much was that for you guys?
It was $26 for 15 pounds. And we bought it at a local grocery store. So we thought we'd have to go to like a refrigeration place or something difficult. And our local giant shop and stop type place now has its own freezer that is sitting next to the ice store. So call a grocery store, see if they have it, because I found out that a friend of mine works for a grocery store and she said, "Oh, we have it." And now you don't have to like go in the back and ask the guy. They just have so it might be places that you don't realize.
I had no idea a grocery store would have dry ice.
I think
All the
it's a
stuff
new
they get
thing,
shipped. Well, the stuff they get shipped frozen, most of it comes in dry ice. Some of them will sell it, some of them won't. So it's worth a call to any place that you know that has frozen food. Maybe they can sell you some.
now you know.
Fantastic. Do we have any idea? This is wrapping up the show. Do we have any idea what we're doing next week?
Not really.
No.
Maybe more about roll cages and why they're hard and don't do them.
Well, that's awesome. It was awesome to spend an hour with.
There's some other stuff down there, Chris.
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, not for me. Am I doing the outro or not?
You're supposed to. I don't see what Mental's talking about, but okay.
Oh, yeah. All right. So my show notes aren't updating. We'll at least do a NOLA post show and a Sonoma prep. But the lesson learned is bring Kim some fun socks, and we're going to rally for her title.
Absolutely.
Totally.
Thank you.
We must thank the Shit Show Preventer for joining us for a week. We know that you are very hungry and very tired from preventing all kinds of shit shows, but we were glad that you enjoyed us, and we are also glad, the podcast listeners, that you have downloaded us. We hope you also enjoyed talking to the Shit Show Preventer and will join us, everyone racers, in the world of
Prevention
driving.
manager, Jeff.
Prevention manager, excuse me.
There's a
Thank you.
title there. Uh-huh.
I'm doing this from memory while I'm on the phone. We also hope you'll join us in the world of driving, racing, and building, because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. It is totally free. Then go to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. Kim, did you know we're on the YouTubes?
Yes.
Yes. So you can right down there, type in the doodly-doo, all the things you want to say, and you can push the button that's going to be up here. Not a point. In just a few minutes to subscribe. So if you have any questions or show ideas, drop a comment on our Facebook page, Everyone Racers, or email us at everyone.racers@gmail.com. You can text us at 484-243-0455, and the music has run out. Find us on Instagram or Twitter at Everyone Racers. Now we're officially on Spotify. Recommend us to your Spotify friends. Thanks again, and until next week, keep the shiny side up. Bring Kim some socks and food, and keep those wheels down.